This meeting you consent to being live stream. Okay, got it.
You got it. I wonder what you're doing different than I'm doing that it will not let me go live anymore.
Oops. My Zoom did update the other day.
Yeah, I just updated mine.
Yeah. The day that I was like only had 5 minutes to like get everything started, and I mean it wasn't live stream, it was last Friday. Anyways, all right. That is weird though. Check my restream.
Yeah, usually the machines are like very nice to me.
Oh, Clark.
I asked Alexa when we got home, "Did you miss us while we were gone?" And
She said,
she said, "Yeah, did you have a good time?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." Wife goes, "Stop that, it's creepy."
aha, we are live. Oh, no, that's
Resistance.
Yeah, we're live.
Futile.
we are live. It's in it, and the restream's got it. Okay.
9.
All right.
All right, I am shooting over to refit.
Just don't do it.
Oh. Oh, man.
And our live stream is up.
Dude, Jeremy, I got that article you sent me, or that little clip you sent me.
Yeah, I figured it's easier to send shit like that because, yeah, explaining stuff, hard.
Yeah. It's like, God
But
damn.
I'm the crane operator.
Dude, I've never even heard of that. That must have been fucking wild, dude.
Oh, come on. It was just a bunch of aviation mechanics doing some shit. We had work to do.
Yeah, but the work was fucked up work, man.
It was, but then we went back to Mosul to the clamshell and went back to work.
That is that's the deployment life. There's no time to process shit.
We got stuck on counseling. Yeah. It was a pencil whip bullshit affair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I imagine it's just like a check the block kind of thing out there. You know. Bad.
Yeah, the memorials at Fort Campbell, the names are between the command buildings. That aircraft crash caused even how the 4-day pass to Dahook was conducted.
And there was a lot of fucking changes.
Yeah.
One, two, probably.
No. There was zero finger pointing because there were 0 survivors.
They ever figure out what caused it?
They had RPGs fired from both sides, and each aircraft tried to shift position and collided into each other. There was no way to fucking fix any of that or prevent any of that. I know one reason that incident was strictly stuck in my head. I was supposed to be on 4-day pass on the aircraft, but due to the fact that I had severed my left big toe the week before, I didn't get to do the 4-day pass. So I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
So when you say severed, what do you mean?
So the base of the toenail, picture breaking the bone off and like perfect line from the bone.
Ooh.
How the fuck did you do that?
Do you remember the ammo supply or stories of an ammo supply point catching on fire in Iraq?
No.
Because some dipshit was burning shit too close to it? Well,
Could, be
2000.
a shrapnel from a exploding round.
No, even so, aviation. Okay, so and maintenance. So I really didn't none of that special shit. It was the ammo supply point caught on fire, and all the rounds started going off. That was just south of Mosul Airfield. I lived on the airfield. I was leaving the tent for the morning piss, and everybody knows that whistle that will make you piss yourself.
Yeah.
The mushroom cloud was in the LSA, in between the tent and the shitter. My ass went running for the bunker with no flip-flops, no nothing, getting away from shit, ended up severing my big toe off.
Was it from like one of the rounds? Or
No, it was running through a gravel pit, barefoot.
oh damn.
Motherfucker, there are rounds coming into the LSA
Yeah.
and popping sand up. There's no, oh, I need to get my shit on. No, it's called run.
Get the fucking cover.
And in
dude.
0304, so everybody was scared, insurgents, whoever. They were scared because 101st, we tend to roll as a pack, and a very mean-looking pack. We're looking for a fight. So whoever was mortaring us then would roll up,
Yeah.
stick a mortar inside of a tube with a block of ice, and just prop the motherfucker up against the fence and drive away. Maybe a half day later, or whenever the ice would melt, and hey, the mortar round went off. Did it fall over? I mean, there was no organizational fight whatsoever. So stupid shit would happen. They didn't attack any like main targets. No, they fucking caught the goddamn chow hall tent on fire by dropping a mortar on the absolute corner away from everybody else. But we didn't have time to process any of it because great old 101st, cool, get back to work, bitch.
That's gotta
There
be,
are
man.
infantry people out there doing their job, and you're here doing yours. You need to provide for them.
Goddamn right. You're goddamn right.
Hey, service support gets the short end of the stick.
Yeah, we get to vent our frustrations out by shooting shit. You know, you guys just have to suck it up.
Hey, you say suck it up, but we get to
Beautiful.
play with bigger toys.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Oh, now we're going to
It's
play
not
the
the
Who's
same.
Is Bigger game.
Yeah, we're going
Hey.
there. It's happening.
I've watched an FE straight Sparta kick an infantry guy out the back of a 47.
Not really.
So, you know, the crew members have the final say, but you won't find a crew member away from the aircraft. They don't step into infantry land. Fuck that. We know where we're safe.
We don't. We're a bunch of ASVAB waivers. Yeah.
Oh, you're cute with an ASFAB waiver.
Uh-huh. No, dude, I was good, man. My fucking. Yeah, but I worked with a lot of ASVAB waivers.
Yeah, I'm one of the illustrious misdemeanor waivers.
Nice.
Yeah, so even looking at the GED that I had, I was a waiver every direction you could think of. No bonus. Here you go. Get on the bus.
Except for sexy bitch. I've seen your shaved face. Trying to hide it. Trying to hide it. Not today, Jeremy.
Hey, I still look like I did when I was in high school. So,
Yeah,
not
dude,
funny.
you've got like 12-year-old genes, man. Weird.
Yeah,
shave
but I
that
have to
face
grow a
and, like,
beard
as a
for
child.
people to take
him.
me seriously.
It's not the beard, it's the character, you know. Gotta
Oh,
take your tracks out every now and then. People will be like too afraid to fuck with you.
Nobody ever took me serious until the red dot was right in the center of their chest, but that's just me.
See, aviation,
Always,
service
for
support,
seriousness is always nice too.
service support. I got to see a red dot on the video game. I never got to actually play with one. I mean, even our aircraft still had Air 60s. How old is an Air 60?
Red
I
dots
don't even
tend
know
to
what that is, man.
language.
What's that?
The red dots tend to change the language we're speaking.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? It's like lasers must give you like IQ points when they hit you.
Yeah, like we speak English and they don't understand, and then you put red dots on them and they completely understand everything you fucking tell them to do.
Well, yeah, we're all
It's just
cats.
it's a translator. That's all it is.
It is a fantastic later.
It is the greatest thing. My wife goes, "Why did you get a laser? I thought you could shoot." I said, "I can shoot. This is so I don't have to shoot."
It does get to the point across without ever having to put a round in the weapon.
Nope.
Oh no! There's always a round in the weapon.
Although you should have a round in the weapon, though. Let's be clear. on
Okay.
that.
It's always
Service support.
Never have to-
We never got to play with our rounds.
It's not Barney Fife
Oh,
with
you
one
guys
bullet
have to
in
roll
the pocket.
amber?
no.
Yeah.
There is always a round in the chamber.
That, you know what? Honestly, when I was carrying, I would ambidex or not. I would appendix carry, and it was the weirdest thing for a little while to get used to have like a Glock that had a round in the tube, like pointing at my junk. But it was, you know what? It was just appendix carry was just the best, so I got over it.
And
I was
there's
like, man, this
there's
is
no
great.
safety. There's no external safeties on the Glock, so
That's
This
the
is my
safety.
safety.
Uh-huh.
My man,
Yeah,
Clark.
no, right there with you. That's the safety right there. And it's not Barney Fife. You don't have the one bullet in the pocket. Okay, it has to be
No,
in the chamber.
no.
And I guess where my misconception on everything is, I'm the 249 gunner. So bolt, it's supposed to be open
Yeah,
bolt.
No, you don't. Don't do that. That's an exception. You're allowed to pass here. You fucking like bump that thing the wrong way and it'll start like you can have a runaway fucking gun.
Well, yeah, pray and spray.
Yeah, but not when you
Yeah.
don't want it to. You know.
But we're aviation. We're not supposed to be intelligent. Just pray and spray. Leave it up to the infantry. They go in and do stuff, and then the cops go in and do even more.
hey, whatever works for you.
All right, well let's go ahead and fucking kick it off. Right. So, first things first. If you can, if you want to help out, just keep things rolling. Just be a monthly donor. Otherwise, if not, if you're in a pinch, don't even fucking worry about it. Just spread the word. So, let's run through the rules first. Get that shit out of the way. Rule 1. Respect the moderator's decision. Direct the conversation. Right? So, if we think you're being kind of an ass, or it's getting a little out of hand, we're going to roll you back a little bit. All right? But just, again, just respect that. Number 2, racist, prejudice bullshit, not going to be tolerated. Hands down. We all bleed the same fucking colored blood when we're dying. All right? So if you can't understand that shit, you don't belong here. We're not going to tolerate it. Rule number 3, try to let people finish their thoughts before you jump in with yours. All right. I know we all jump over each other, and we're gonna fuck that one up a few times, but let's try to give that one a little bit of work. And then number 4, no diagnosing. None of us here are professional psychologists, and if you are, this is not the place to diagnose. Yeah, comments, give your thoughts, your perspective, always appreciated, because that goes a long way. It's a community, it's a team fight, but no fucking actual diagnosis. Now, if you are going to speak and open up about some shit, if you need it to just vent, or you actually want somebody to play devil's advocate or give you their thoughts, just let that be known, right? Mainly, it's just you just need to vent and let some shit off your chest, and you don't want somebody to really give you feedback. Just make that known so it's easier for people to understand the space. And then finally, we're going to shoot for around 2-3 hours so we don't burn out. If we need to go a little longer, obviously we will, not a problem, but we'll be going around there. So with that, we are going to be focusing the topic for the night, all right, which is going to be, what leaders did you have that left a positive or negative impact on you, right? What are some of those stories, some of those tales, right? The good and the bad, because they both have value. So that kind of came to mind during the weekend. I had an experience with a really amazing leader. Honestly, I lucked out. I had some really, really solid leadership for the most part. I've run into some really, really shitty ones, but I did have that experience with some really awesome, impactful leadership, especially Gunny. That was just out of this fucking world. But also, shout out to Sergeant Jack if you're out there. Fucking goon. All right. With that, does anyone got some shit they want to just drop and get off their chest before you're rolling in anything else? So, more. Let's start with you. Let's start with you, brother. Aha!
You got me. I was literally about to say, well, I was about to type. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get up early in the morning.
No, if you do have to go, then let me know.
No. Yeah, I'm doing well for most things. I'm really dealing with some stuff on the reserve side that I don't understand what's going on. I don't know. Yeah. Like some medical stuff, and I don't communicating to them that I'm like fine. Like somebody else somehow I got put on a profile, and I have no idea why. Just don't. So I'm being mandated to go get like evaluated. I'm just like, okay. It's so inconvenient right now because I'm doing my new job, and I'm not normally that guy that just bitch and complain about going and taking care of my army stuff. Like I don't have a problem with it. I'm normally like, I always have my stuff done. I know when things are coming up, so I preload it and I prep it. So when they ask me what's going on, I mean, you know this, Mo. You know, I have it. I at least have an answer for them, and I don't like, oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't know. I never give it. I'll try to never give that answer. I hate that answer. I didn't know. So I'm not going to do that. But I had to say that like earlier this year because apparently I got put on this profile earlier this year, and I knew nothing about it until AT. And the first sergeant commander is asking me like, "Hey, did you know about?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" The first time I was like, yeah, I'm not the only person this has happened to. This has actually happened to several people in our unit as of late. And if it wasn't for starting a new job and I had COVID for 2 weeks, like a week ago. And I had to take time off from that. And I'm the new guy on the job. And I have to leave. It's just really inconvenient. But now, supposedly have a deadline to get this all done. And it's one of those things I don't want to go to work and be like, hey, I got this mandated thing from the unit. I have to take these days off. And in the description, it's saying that the evaluation can take a day, or it could take as long as the military wants the evaluation to take place. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So they could literally put me on orders for who knows how long. I'm kind of stressed out about that, and it doesn't make sense.
Like a med board kind of deal, or just
it sure could be. They could be going that route, and possibly if they're going that route, I'm just gonna say like medically retire me. Here's the thing. It's like I don't know if it's because I'm jerking the chain. I know that's happened to some people in they get ready to or they get close to their I don't have any intentions in getting out. I technically gonna have 2 more years on my contract because I re-enlisted right at the beginning of COVID. No, so I guess I have a year left. I don't know, but I was gonna re-up anyways. I mean, I'm gonna stay in until they, Anyways, the biggest thing is I was trying to get promoted. I can't get my promoted right now because I'm freaking flagged for this profile. The ball.
Is this like P2 or P3 status? Do you know? Or are they just...
know. It's a behavioral health thing. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this happened to like 3 other people in our unit, like cookie, like domino effect, and it was and nobody knows what happened.
I wonder if it's tied to your PHA.
It did happen. I can pinpoint from the date that they finally they sent me the information from. It was then, and I actually know the doctor that did it, but they won't let me contact the doctor because I've been put on this profile, it has to go through the Merc and it has to go through the Army stuff.
How are you feeling with all the stress?
I'm a lot more stressed about it than I'm definitely gonna let people know, but at first I was really angry that I feel like I just feel violated. I feel like my option for somebody not to call me and to contact me and say this, I would have expected a counseling first. I would have expected a counseling, and I feel like that's what should have happened. But apparently, that's not the case.
Do they have an IG? Because everything you've said sounds suspect as fuck. Because I have gone through a med board and been medically retired.
Well, actually, Jeremy, you're on my list. Like, if this is going down further, like, you're on my list to contact. Because I need somebody that knows the deal. Like, I feel like I can trust because
everything you just explained screams IG congressional. Stop talking about it, stop worrying about it, and contact them, because that as somebody brought, I think it was I can't remember now, I'm just frustrated because P3, even if it's behavioral, they can't railroad like that.
I didn't think of the IG. I typically don't. I guess think about that, but you might be right. In this situation, this might be a good idea.
You can even research online on I say Lugal because my house will recognize me saying the other word,
Yeah.
but look on Lugal and research IG and the exact issues you're going through.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have been reported from that shit before.
Isn't Lugal where you find your closest Luger?
I don't know. Jump in a hot tub and let me know.
A hot, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Right now, medically retirement sounds pretty damn good. So, I mean, if they
Yeah,
wanna
it's
do
not a
that,
bad.
I'll
I mean,
take-
if that's the route
I'll
that it
take it.
takes, that doesn't sound like a bad.
I mean, I got 20.
Yeah.
Well, as long as
That's what I'm saying. And,
Other
and
times-
honestly, it sounds like it's kind of early too. You said you have to wait till, like, you have an appointment, or like you have to wait for something before anything else even
They-
happens.
they're pressing. Well, okay. So here's the thing. I actually went to resolve this. I went to Kimbrough last during AT. I went there like the second day of AT. I went there because the commander and first officer were like, "Hey, yeah, you need to take this care of this meeting," because they were confused too. And I was like, "Okay," so I went there. And the people at Kimbrough were like, "Oh, know what you're talking about. We can't find you in the system." They had me still under my old unit when I was active duty, and I was like, okay, this is what they're telling me in my email. This is what I'm supposed to do. Can you provide this evaluation? And they were like, well, we're not sure. And so anyways, the major that I talked to, he said he
Right.
can't do it. And then I went back the next day, and then they essentially turned me away. They're like, we can't help you. The medical facility, you are.
Oh, stop talking about it. Contact IG. For your protection and your benefit, stop conversating about it and contact IG and your congressional. It will take your concerns away.
Yeah, that sounds like pretty good advice.
Anyways, so stress, but the stress, James, like that's. I mean, that's just where it's the unknowns, and
Of course.
and I'm and this is what I do. This is typically when something like this happens, I'll go to pretty high stress for a little bit, and then I have to detach myself from all kinds of stuff, and then I can reel myself back in. Okay, you know what? This is the reality. This is not reality. No, I'm good to go. Just suss it out. I'm not worried about it. So I'm more frustrated and angry than I am probably stressed. I think it's mainly the inconvenience of having to do it and somehow finagle it with my work. I don't know. That's just where I'm at.
How does
Yeah.
your family feel?
We're doing pretty good. We all recovered fairly well. I mean, my wife and I are pretty. We're still tired, but kicking COVID in the face.
Well,
Would
as long
they-
as your
would they be
family's
super
good and you're
upset?
happy. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying, would they be super upset if you like do the med board route and you no longer are at the beck and call of the green weenie?
That's actually a question I do have for the command. I guess that's where I would start that question. Just be like, you know what? This is doing army stuff is inconvenient. It's just like I'm not going anywhere. I've been at the same rank for 8 years. 8 years. It's one thing after another. I can't. It's either can't get promoted because there's too many people in the same daggone MOS. and get, you know, or somebody gets promoted from a different unit and ends up in our unit and it blocks the people that were getting ready to get promoted. Like it's just that's actually happened twice. So I'm jealous. And
That sounds like some National Guard shit, man. I don't know. We had to.
I know, man. It's the reserves is stupid. It goes to promotions. I like doing the army stuff. It kind of like I enjoy it, but it's at the same time it's getting more and more inconvenient.
If we're gonna stay on this subject, take it off live.
Quiet, Charlie. Thank you.
People need to hear.
Yeah, I'm sorry, James. You want to finish what you were saying, what you were asking about my family?
No, that's okay. Because you pretty much answered it.
Okay. Yeah, we're doing good. Had my oldest daughter turn 14 today. It was cool. Had a nice little party for her.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yep. That's me. I'm doing well. Other than that, I'm doing very well.
New job treating you well.
Yes. Yes. I mean, normal new job stress is there, but I mean, hey, you know, just yeah, getting it done in strides, you know.
Get her done.
Yes, sir. And y'all looked great, by the way, this weekend.
No, Mo and Dan looked great. Rocco was
Yeah,
killing it
James
too.
looks like a hobo. What's going on?
Got that hat game going on.
Yeah. No, Dan looked like Sheldon, so it's all good.
Dan looked like Sheldon.
Did you not see my comment on that
Big
picture
Sheldon's
where?
a sexy bitch.
No,
The-
that is
did you-
fucking awesome.
No, look at the picture where Mo was holding Dan.
Oh, I
Where's that
know it
picture?
very well.
Just yeah,
I don't have that picture. Where's that picture?
look at that picture and
Dan holding Dan.
yeah,
Yeah, I held Dan. Where's the picture? Where'd you find it? I
it's on Facebook, man.
was actually
It's
wondering
on-
where that picture was. What?
It's like posted on you're like famous on Facebook. But that's when I made like the very first comment. I saw it and I made the very first comment, and that's what I said. I was like, and
Is it on the refit page?
I don't know, probably. I have to go look.
I don't actually check. I have a Facebook, and I don't really actually use it. I didn't even realize I had a Facebook for quite a few years, actually. I forgot it even existed. I thought I deleted it, dude.
Here's my page.
What do you know?
It's on
So-
the internet. It can never be deleted.
Shit.
I don't know.
Wait, where is it? Because I literally, where is that picture?
It's like gone. It disappeared.
Where's Waldo?
I know the one
I know
you're
we're
talking
totally
about.
sideboarding, but I want.
Yeah,
I
here we
want
go.
that
I found it. I found it. Let's
It's on
see.
Dan's page, right?
Well, it probably would be on Dan's page.
Okay, so I didn't post it to refit.
Harley Rocco.
Dan posted it himself.
Oh, okay.
That had to have been it.
Blame the guy
That's
not
Fucking
here.
hilarious.
Did you see what I'm saying? But I'm looking like Sheldon.
Mo, are you looking at it? Because that is a hilarious description.
I don't know where it is.
Damn it, where's Dan when you need him to
I
be
know.
here to have like a smart ass funny remark back?
He dipped out. He chickened out for tonight. No, sorry. He said in his recent stream he's not gonna be in.
No, he's got. I think he just got off class.
Yeah.
He's gonna have
Something
homework and
like that.
shit. You just can you just do me a favor?
Hmm.
James?
No, I'll
Can
send
you
it to
just,
you.
Like, yeah, please. Can you just send it to me?
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
Because it's
do it.
glorious.
Awesome.
It's fantastic.
Awesome.
What makes it even better is what's his name in the background, just like, you fools. Like his expression is like, you fools.
The jealousy.
Yeah. Or yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's Mo. He's looking at it going like, I want to have
It's
fun.
Rocco, and Rocco's loving every second.
It's like, I want to have fun like that. But
Yeah,
I
he's
don't-
a G.
but I can't get my hands out of my pocket.
Rocco is
Where's
a gangster.
Rocco? Where's Rocco? I feel bad making fun of him.
Dude, Rocco was just watching our six. You know. That's all it was.
Yeah.
He was just making sure no one was fucking sneaking up on our six.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what Rocco does all the time, though.
Hell
I
yeah.
am sorry I missed it.
Oh,
but
these are some sexual photos, and I love every one of them.
I'm going to probably
Oh,
have to post
man.
these to refit, honestly.
yeah, I think you should.
Yeah. Why has that not been done?
I was, and I was
I
like,
don't know. I feel like Dan, I don't know. I feel like Dan might not like it or something. I
No.
don't know why.
so that's why
I should just ask them, but I just haven't yet.
Oh, James, maybe you should just ask for forgiveness sometime.
I just been busy today. I sent Black Rifle Coffee Company an email about that ruck we want to do, and I told them that we're gonna fucking do it anyway, but we thought we'd reach out to companies like them, you know, just for the for the hell of it.
Where and when?
But cool.
Where
Yeah.
where are y'all planning on doing it, and when?
Oh, across the United States, no big deal.
Oh yeah, psh, whatever.
You know, it's a thing.
Yep. Nope. That's a whole lot of
No.
no for me.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no
gonna,
big deal. East Coast, West Coast.
I'm gonna bow out and let y'all do it. And
We're thinking. So the plan is, I was talking to Wade about it because Wade's the one that came up with the idea, and I was like, I'll fucking back you up with any ideas you got. That sounds like a good one. I'm always down to back people up with good fucking crazy ideas. So I was like, I'll fucking back you up. I don't give a shit. But I said to him, I was like, but every year following that, I'll do it one time, but I am not doing that shit 2 years in a row. Fuck that. So we're going to turn it into a relay where you carry an American flag and you pass it off to a bunch of different ruckers across the United States. You know, every fucking
Yeah.
year.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
that sounds a lot better.
like you know, like go 100.
But
Go
the
up.
first one, you got to make it a fucking statement, man. Like
Uh,
I will absolutely make a statement, and I'll do it, and I'll go with them across the whole country, make a
So-
documentary about it, all that shit.
So I mean, you can still make a statement by walking 100 miles, passing that flag off, and that person walking 100 miles, or however far they want to do it. But
Fuck that.
seriously,
Let's go 1,800 miles. Let's go.
that's only
So you-
halfway. That's only halfway across the state.
Oh yeah, you're right. Let's go
Just
28. That's right. It was Utah's 28.
He doesn't know, Mo. He doesn't know.
That does. Yeah, he definitely doesn't know. Like his Forrest
I
Gump
said-
ass, you know.
I
You
said
don't know.
I said the 1,800 because I was thinking of Louisiana, honestly.
Yeah.
Just for the record, I couldn't make it back and forth across the Orlando airport 4 times. So
So that's
You
that's
better
what.
Yeah,
train
Bruno,
for
what
that
happened?
shit,
You
man.
okay?
yeah, it's just everything caught up to me at one time. So my wife is right. I do have limits. I need to learn to accept a little bit at least.
Sounds like you need some more yes dear in your life, you know.
That woman will kill me in my sleep if I give her a hard time.
That's what I'm saying. More yes dear, dude.
I conceded that I probably should not drive down to Virginia for the thing with Jimmy Dean alone. So if I can find somebody to go with me, I'm going. If not, I'm just going to have to apologize and say I couldn't do it.
When are you doing that, and where?
I would be leaving Friday.
Oh, this
Um,
Friday.
Yeah, because it's like a
Oh, okay.
4-hour drive to where he's at,
Yep, it would.
Which
That would
is-
be right.
which is about 3 hours more than I could handle right now, I guess.
Well,
And stay overnight Friday. Photograph the event on Saturday, and drive back Saturday night.
mm,
Take Mikey with you. He's a good road dog.
mhm. Yeah, is Mikey back? He's flying back, isn't he?
Yeah, Mike got back this morning around probably about 7:30 my time.
I should ping him right now, like spam him. Hey. Because he's probably tired of being on the plane.
We was on the road at least 4 hours on Saturday,
Yeah.
and going down and driving back from Denali. So he can handle it. He won't fall asleep on you either.
I actually love driving, but I'm over here in St. Louis. And
We'll
I'm
give
off
you a
work Friday and Saturday.
We'll give you a couple days to drive down to Jersey, get to him.
Nice little drive. I forgot how many hours away you are from St. Louis.
It's a little bit of a haul.
I drive an 18-wheeler every day for 12 hours, so I know I could do it.
It's all the same.
Well, I was trying to get my wife to go, and she's like, I do not want to do that ride. But if you could find me an 18-year-old blonde that says she would do it, she will change her mind like that.
Well, I would
I
do
mean,
it
I
with
have
you,
a
Bruno.
42-year-old blonde you could use. Not that it would
Hey.
be true, but
Rose.
Just tell her I got to
Throwing
volunteer
blonde
and
in
see
there.
what she says.
I would say I
Knows
would go
all
with you,
about the
Bruno.
laser pointer.
But I
I got one of my own though, so it's all just who's gonna have the better accuracy.
Hey, you guys can make the dots touch, Magical.
Sometimes
That
shit
only
happens.
works when you got one person with a red laser and one with a green laser.
Does that make what color would that be?
Purple, probably.
That's not purple. That's red and blue.
No, that's red and blue. Red and blue's purple. Yeah, there we go.
Red and
Come on,
green
Mo.
does not make purple.
Hey, whoa,
I
ho,
should
ho,
know
ho,
that.
ho! I didn't say that.
No, I said that, and I should know this.
I think it's brown.
Is it brown?
I think it's.
Makes doo doo. It makes doo doo water.
Green and red make brown.
What'd you say? Crayola. I mean, we should listen to Crayola. He literally.
It makes
the meaning of
burn
color.
pit or not burn pit, burn in the poop color.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes brown though.
It doesn't make it makes a weird color.
Might make like a
Hold
bluish.
on, we have Google at our fingertips. Stand the fuck by.
At our fingertips.
Mo's fingertips are moist.
Don't make me.
I mean, I
It's yellow, guys.
That's what he
Yellow.
said.
Might
Red
make
and
yellow.
green makes yellow.
Look what you started, Belarus.
I thought he said fingertips. It's not
Oh wait, no, I'm reading mixed. I'm getting mixed. A shade
So
of brown.
Bruno,
Yeah,
I
'cause
would
blue
go
and,
with you.
Blue and green makes yellow.
Well, green
Bruno,
green
Yeah.
is partially
Red and blue
yellow.
do make purple, according to Google.
Yeah, James, we're talking about important shit.
Yeah, but what is red and green? We know red and blue makes purple.
Red
It's
and-
and green.
Red and green.
She's like playing with her markers. over
Brown.
here.
Doo-doo water.
I'm not playing
Some
with
places
markers,
are
I'm
saying
drawing.
yellow, and
Oh,
some places are saying brown.
I thought
So
you
now
were
I feel
like
like
trying
I'm
to
being
figure out
lied
the
to.
colors.
We need an
Yellow
automator.
because it's light.
Very nice. It's good.
That totally makes yellow.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
what was that?
with lights, it would be yellow
Okay.
because
All right,
it's a
James.
subtractive process.
All right, James, you can speak now. We're done figuring out our
Yeah,
colors.
since you were so rudely interrupting this very intellectual conversation.
all I wanted to say was that I would go with you, Bruno. I'm sorry, but we have a reunion that we're hosting this weekend. There's like 108 or 130 veterans that we have coming down. So
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
yeah.
Fun.
So if you can't go, you're more than welcome to come to that with me, and we can take a bunch of photos and stuff.
I might take you up on that. Where's that at?
It's Pittsgrove.
Oh, that's not far.
No.
I would say drive down here, and then I drive the rest of the way down there.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's not
this
even the
weekend.
driving. It's she's worried if something happens, and
He's by himself.
Even if you
Yeah.
drove like halfway.
yeah, after I fell getting
Okay.
off the bus, she kind of went full mother hen on me for a little bit there.
But-
She's worried about him being alone.
Mhm.
Take one of
Well,
those like
Mother Hen,
the anime blow up
I'll do
dolls,
with
man.
you.
Does that not count?
I don't know.
That's cool. Podcast, good talk. Fine, rude. All right. Well, why don't we get to the fucking topic of the night then? Oh. God. Fucking rude. No one acknowledged.
Good leaders in bad, huh?
Rude.
Yeah.
Speaking of good leaders,
I was actually thinking. I was thinking of which one to bring up. Obviously, Gunny had a huge impact on me. Honestly, on everyone. I think that knew him, military or not. I don't think I've ever heard even anywhere negative story. But I was thinking back, back in time. Oh, I remember the first time I think I had a leader where I was like, oh, a what? Like it made me take a pause. Not in a bad way. I was, oh shit, there I was. All right. Balls deep in Afghanistan. Ooh. It was like 2012 time frame. And we had a sergeant. I was still I was either a Mosquito Wings private or I was a newly minted PFC. I don't fucking remember. I was a private. All right. Private's private. And we got this team leader that came in. He was an NCO E5 sergeant. And he came to our platoon. We had like a hand. We were under strength as a motherfucker. That was around the time that the president at the time was Obama, and he was doing like a troop drawdown a little bit. So they were just, instead of pulling from like massive fobs and shit where they had all these support people like not really doing a whole lot, they were pulling from everywhere. So we had dudes on our combat outpost where we were like, we really needed people, and they were taking motherfuckers from that shit. So it sucked. It was kind of annoying. And eventually the battalion was like, here's like 2 or 3 replacements for your whole company. And we're like, oh, great. That's going to be so much help. Awesome. So we got one NCO, and he came in. And I remember one day I was on this detail. I don't remember what it was. I think I'd just come off a tower guard or some shit, and I had to go do some detail where we had to like either put up C-wire or fucking whatever. And this dude came out on the detail and like did the shit with us the whole time. And I had just never seen that before at that time, right? I hadn't seen an NCO actually do the shit with the Joes. Like get dirty with us, like do the grunt work, like do the shit work. And I remember telling him, I was so astounded by it. I was talking with him there. And I was like, Sergeant, like, I've never seen anyone do this kind of shit. Like, it's really cool to see, actually. And he was just like, yeah, man, like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be here with you guys. Like, I'm supposed to fucking do the work, do that shit, And I respected him so much for it, I had such a huge amount of respect that he would actually take the time and, like, get in the grit with us and do that shit. So he's not just like fucking supervising like most NCOs I saw would. He was actually in it with us, and that made me want to work harder for him. It was just like I had such a huge respect for that dude after that, and that was something that I tried to adopt. When I started getting into team leader roles and then coming in NCO and shit, like that's something I tried to live by because it was just so it was such a cool thing to see. I was like, that's it. Like, that's the way it should be. Yeah. So that's my good leadership. One of the good leadership stories, I guess. Yeah. It was awesome.
How about you, Rose? Do you have any good leadership stories from police work?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but they're nowhere near as interesting as stuff like that. I mean,
Jesus.
We have shit sergeants and shit lieutenants that
Let's hear
are
about
nothing.
those motherfuckers then.
that are nothing, and you have the very few and far in between that are like that one that'll get out and will fight next to you and, you know, come up and put a pistol in the back of somebody's fucking head for you. That's the ones that you don't get a lot of. They're all leaving. They're all 25 and 30-year veterans, and they're leaving. We have one who basically called the superintendent a pussy ass dick. I guess he couldn't figure out words at the moment, and the superintendent basically went running for Mardi Gras when they started shooting on Bourbon. And there was our platoon, and then there was the 200 state troopers that were on Bourbon. And we're all kind of just getting out of roll call, so we're all in the area, so to speak, even though the area is not that big, so you're kind of always in the area. But we were in the immediate area. So we go basically skiing on 2 wheels down canal, get out, rifles, get in front of SWAT, which never made sense to me. You know, that's kind of what the fuck they do. Shit. So why would we get in front of them? So we did, and we ran down Bourbon. Everybody's stampeding, so you're trying not to get run over with your rifle while you're running down the block. And the superintendent, we go past the hotel, the first hotel we get to, and he's hiding behind a pillar. This is our chief, like our top guy, and you're hiding. And we just kept going. That's not my job. That's not our job. Me and my partner, we kept running. And we see some people that don't look quite right. They're not running like everybody else. They're not doing what everybody else is panicking. And we got 2 guys with pistols, hemmed them up, put them up against the wall. We don't let ours go. We hold tight where we are while everybody else advances. And then in the end, Lieutenant Hart comes, and he's, you know, we're debriefing, and I didn't bring it up first.
Hold on, Rose. Just to throw it out there, it is live right now. So if you're cool with throwing names out, good. But just remember that.
Thanks. So
we'll just delete it after this. No worries.
Okay. So anyway, Lieutenant comes out and he's like, look, like this is not the way it's supposed to be. It doesn't look good. This is not how you lead. You can't lead from the back. You have to lead from the front. And if you can't do that, then this is not where you need to be. And it just doesn't, the way he was, even after that lieutenant, after that, everything he did was for us. It wasn't for the department. Everything was for us. Everything he did and everything he stood for and stands for, even now, because he's, you know, he is. And I don't think he'll ever change. I think they'll run him off before he'll change. But yeah, I mean, we have leaders. Like I said, they're not as interesting as you guys, but they're there.
You know,
Some
somehow
could
I doubt
argue-
that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of overlap. You know.
A ton of it.
I don't know. It is what it is. I think we have a lot of similarities with the military. I don't think it's exactly the same stress, but I think we have a lot of similar stresses. And I don't know that it has the same effect on you guys that it does, because yours long term. Ours isn't as long term. Like, we're not in the shit for as long as you are. Constant shit.
A way to
Aren't
think
you,
about
like,
something.
doing that job like the whole
Yeah.
time though.
I think it's
Like, you're
debatable.
constantly in it. Like, yeah, if you want to put that in perspective, like, when we go out somewhere totally different, right? And then we operate there. And yeah, while we're out there, we're always keyed on. And if you're not and you get complacent, well, then shit gets even worse, you know? But that's it. Like, when you're done with that deployment, you come back and you can relax, you know? Like, kind of, unless you're like, had like a lot of shit going on and you just like,
Right.
replaying. But that's the environment. It's totally separate from here. Like, we don't come back here again, unless you have a lot of like serious trauma that you're trying to deal with. You don't come back here and have that shit on constantly. Where I feel
Right.
like you guys are, it might not always be like, you know, balls to the wall in your face, direct threat, but there's always that notion, that underlying tone of like, you don't fucking know. You never know.
So
you can't turn it off,
no,
right? Ever.
no, not ever.
Yeah. In that sense,
And lately
I think it's
lately it's a lot worse. Lately we can't. A lot of us are having a hard time turning it off at all. Like, you want to get out of it, but you can't. Like, you just, some of them can't at all. Like, I don't know that I could ever go back to doing something else, because I don't trust people anymore at all. Like, I don't go anywhere without a pistol, whether I'm appendix carrying or whatever else. I just,
Yeah.
and I'm always
So you don't
looking.
have to worry about your dick getting shut off.
Nope, I don't. Never had that worry. Thank God. But no, I mean, I'm always watching people, and my biggest thing is I'm always looking at hands. I'm always looking at hands. And it's carried into things like, lately I've been looking for pictures of my mom's hands. I can't remember what her hands look like, which makes no sense to me at all. But it's something I've been looking for recently.
I mean, that gives a lot away in terms of intentions. You know, I feel like you're just, it's become something that you've had to look out for so long, probably unconsciously at first, and then more consciously as you became more aware of it, exposed to it a lot more. So now maybe it's something, and again, I don't fucking know, I'm not a professional, but like, maybe it's something where that being able to see the hands or not determines whether you're comfortable or not. Because if you can see them, you can at least determine intentions. And if you can't, well then, you know, it's hard to be comfortable. Like, where are the hands?
It's drilled into you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what, I've never been military, so I don't know what your little pet peeves. But one definitely is our hands. They drill it. Don't let them put their hands in their pockets. Don't let them go back into their car. Don't let them reach into anything. If anything needs to be gotten out of something, you do it. It it's drilled. Wear their hands, wear their hands. And I mean, even on something simple like changing flat tires, like now I'm bridge cop, right? Or as my best friend calls me, I'm a bridge troll. Even when we're changing tires, if they're standing there watching the mechanic do it and they put their hands in their pockets, I'll tell them, take your hands out of your pockets for me, please. Or they'll go get something out of their car. No, don't do that. Let me do it. And some of them get offended because these are mostly like upper class people. So they don't feel like they should be subject to not being trusted.
It's that
And I
knowledge.
just don't.
It's that knowledge.
It's gotta be great to to shit on him with that.
I just don't trust.
You don't need to respond to this, but I would enjoy that. Yeah.
I just don't trust them. I don't trust anybody.
You do get to that point.
Trust is a fickle thing.
I worked internal affairs. Sometimes I don't even trust other cops anymore.
No, like the more and more you hear about this stuff on the news, and I try not to watch the news. Oh my God, I try not to watch it. But you get people that'll see, did you see what happened? Did you see this? Did you see that? I sure didn't. And instead of taking the hint, they're like, well, let me tell you. And I'm like, okay, fine. So you even hear about cops that now are hurting themselves and hurting each other and hurting the people that they love. And it's like the stress that they're going through. How do you know who is wigging out, who isn't anymore?
Well, it's like trauma's trauma. It doesn't really matter whether it's, I don't know, like combat related or not, right? It doesn't have to be directly tied to some, like, you get into a firefight or whatever the fuck, you know? If you're just seeing the nastiest side of people, like, every fucking day. And again, like, we would deal with it in chunks, right? You know, we go out there, we deal with it, you come back, maybe you retrain and deploy again, maybe you don't, maybe you get out, right? Some people just keep going back, but it's in chunks. There's a reset time. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get that.
And yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the differences are, like, a lot of the times it's, like, high intensity in those chunks, but it's also, again, it's a chunk still. It's like you get to come back and you have a chance to reset. Whether you reset or not, that's on you, I guess, ultimately, maybe. But you have that chance, right? We get a chance to come back and reset. You don't, and that's not case by case. I know, I mean, like, we'll come back and, like, you know, like, shit that we get pet peeves about sometimes, like, if there's shit on the side of the road, right? Especially for Iraq veterans, I think more so than anything, like, freak out and swerve, and you're like, is that a fucking IED? You know, a lot of little tells like that. That's where, like, the crowd. I'm sure the crowd actually applies to you too. Like, I feel like that's there's parallels right there. You know.
Yeah, crowds are terrible. I haven't missed Mardi Gras. A lot of people are very upset.
That's what I'm saying. If you're constantly in that environment, you know, it's why it's like the trauma is the trauma. Like, it doesn't really matter where it occurred. It's just what are the impacts of it, right? How is it coming at you, you know? And there's a lot of parallels there and shit. Yeah, I mean, if the veteran community is having, like, such this highlight about, like, you know, we need to work on, like, you know, post-traumatic stress for veterans and shit like that. Like, kind of missing like the folks at home, you know, like, we're missing that whole thing where it's like you can't turn it off. Like, that's day to day.
Yeah, but I mean, haven't you seen on the news, police are, you know, robots, and we're supposed to be able to do this because we're highly trained and efficient, and, you know, we're just better. We're supposed to be the best of the best of the best, and, you know, it doesn't matter where training came from. You're supposed to be able to manage it.
All right. Hey, we're known for
weak.
killing babies, so You know?
Right? There you go. There you go.
No, I think it is sad. That's why I like that. Actually, appreciate you being on here because I think it's important to get that different perspective too. Like, it's not just vets. That's the reason why this whole thing is like vets and first responders. You know.
Yeah, and we didn't trust Bruno because he's IA.
We don't like no snitches.
Snitches get stitches.
It's a tough job. Because
That's what I'm saying.
You run into
probably have some
you
good and bad
get
leaders
guys
to
that
talk
are,
about,
I mean, fortunately we didn't have a lot, but we had a couple of guys that were just like real bad news. And the other officers are like, if I say anything, he's going to come after me, or I'm going to need backup, and he's going to disappear. So it's tough to get cops to. I hate to say this, they don't want to testify against other cops because of stuff like that. And I was like the computer genius in my department, which meant basically that I knew more than anybody else, not that I knew all that much. And I'm doing an interview, and I got my laptop in front of me, and I got a digital recorder, and the digital recorder got full. And I was getting like no information out of this officer. The only thing I could tell by the answers he was giving me was that something might have could have happened. And then I plugged the recorder into my laptop because it was full. So I had to record right to the laptop, and he goes, why are you plugging that into the laptop? And I just looked at him. I said I have the vocal software to see if you're lying when you're talking to me. The voice stress analysis software. And all of a sudden I start getting great answers. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to use my own laptop, my own recorder. What makes you think, in what reality would they give me $25,000 voice stress analysis software?
Right.
But hey, nobody ever questioned it. So whenever I wasn't getting good answers, I would plug it into plug the recorder right into the computer, and you would get some good stuff.
Fucking G move, Bruno.
Holy shit, Bruno.
The downside is it made you realize you were working with some pretty stupid people, though.
That's always the case, though.
How about you, Ball? What is a good example of a good leader and a bad leader for you? Remember, you don't have to say names. You can just like give stories and shit.
I'm retired. I'll tell you all the dirt. I don't care.
He said, I'll tell you
He
all
said,
the
I'm
names.
retired.
Look, there's your IA dream right there.
Yeah, I don't give a damn. I'll tell you what. I had this bad leader, Bruno, Officer Bruno.
Fucking know-it-all guys.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to see you on, Austin. I saw you had the head of the household on there for a minute. She's gone now, but
Head of the house.
yeah,
I'm safe to talk now.
I saw her flash by for a second, but yeah, nobody ever remembers the good guys. I think that the pace of life that we were in. We were constantly on too, but it was different. So like Mo said, we kind of did get a time to sort of at least mentally relax, so to speak. But when we came back, being a maintenance guy, we were kind of like right back into getting everybody else operational ready. So very next morning it was like wake up and get back to work. But at least it was, it was kind of like a mental break of just getting to go. So we had quite a few guys that would, basically throw a pair of coveralls on, whatever crap, open a toolbox, get in there and start turning some wrenches and just do, just to kind of at least ease some of the tension of, how much work we had to do before the next rotation would hit. But I think bad leaders, The one that got me the most, and the one I can remember, is essentially not recognizing that the men and women that you got with you, the force that you have with you, is the lifeblood that's actually making the job happen in the first place. And so when I got out into recruiting, I think is where I met some of the worst leaders that I had. And it was the mindset on a lot of the leaders out there in the recruiting world tend to sway very heavily toward like the business aspect of things, and it can separate the recruiting sort of lifestyle completely away from the Army they're supporting in the first place, because I completely understand the mission, just like Mo said, is that if you don't recruit the guys to put into the Army, if you're not meeting those quotas, then that means there's foxholes empty somewhere. That means they are pulling guys off the fob when they shouldn't be, or off the outpost, when they shouldn't be, putting them back on the fob or whatever, just so they could be a sergeant major's driver instead of actually doing, God's work out on an outpost. So it's that stuff that has to happen, or that second, third order effect happens if the recruiters aren't putting the people in the Army, So I know that and I understand it, but motivating your guys off of wanting to help out their fellow brethren, by getting out there and doing the job, was a different story than destroying the guys. Essentially, they would essentially beat down that E5, E6, sometimes E7 out there doing their recruiting duty, to the point to where they would kill themselves just to make sure that the numbers were being met. And you could tell that if that was happening in the sense of more of a self-preservation because of the numbers, and you could tell that even the vision of that initial mission in the first place wasn't even happening. So they weren't pushing hard because foxholes were empty. They were pushing hard because they weren't meeting, their numbers that their boss was pushing on. See what I'm saying? I know it's kind of the same and it correlates the same, but there is a different motivation on one side's doing it because
the reason why makes a difference.
Right. There's a reason why. I'm pushing to put guys in the foxholes because I care about everybody, or I'm pushing for the number because I care about me, myself, and I want to look good, and so I was in Houston in 2008 when all those suicides were happening, and it was just, it kind of blew my mind right off the bat, that we are destroying the force that we have. Those guys that have that sort of proven knowledge, proven, combat experience, that are going to sometimes return back and start leading the same soldiers, out into the fight again. And we were just either destroying them completely or ensuring that they were never going to reach, the line ever again. We had grown as Green Beret. This was back when the Green Berets could come out to recruiting duty as well. But we had grown as Green Beret men who would essentially break down and would get chaptered 8 out of the Army because they couldn't handle recruiting duty. I mean, you're talking about Special Forces guys, again, just like Rose was saying, should be able to handle anything, right? Robots, but they found the one thing that would break them, and it was basically take everything that they fought for, everything they worked for, basically the Army, take that, all the moral values, all the training and the aspect and the culture and everything about the Army itself, take it out of them, insert this objective, business sort of mindset that doesn't completely give a shit about the actual Army itself, that just wants to make the numbers, and then drive them into that aspect where you destroy their own personal lives at the sake of not meeting that number goal, and this was a fact of like, back when this happened, when I'm talking about like the Green Beret guys that were, there was a couple of them, but one of them I saw he was a chapter 8, like he just completely cracked. We were working we were working what was it? We essentially had 3 Sundays a month off. So we were working 6 days a week, except for mission week. It was the full 7. So it went all the way through. It was just 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. report and 11 p.m. retreat. So yeah, working from 6 in the morning to 11 at night. And we were doing this 6 days in a row and then 7 days in a row, you know, all the way through in the 4th week. Didn't matter if it was Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, didn't matter.
So y'all were the police.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were interrupting people's Thanksgiving dinners. I wasn't kidding. Knocking on doors just to ask if their son or daughter wanted to join the Army.
Wow.
That actually makes me
so
appreciate my recruiter a little more.
Really low.
Did you?
I can't believe you did that.
By chance, I know this is a long shot, but did you by chance know a guy named Sergeant Harris when you were doing recruiting out there?
Dude,
I know a couple
could've
Sergeant Harrises. Are you talking about a big black guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The old big black guy.
White dude like to play disc golf.
No, but the Sergeant Harris I knew was a big. He was the kind of guy you didn't fuck with. I love that guy. He was my favorite.
No,
loved him.
I could have sworn you were gonna be like, hey, did you just by chance, did you know that you had your extended warranty for your vehicle? And like it would be like the recruiters are the ones that created that shit.
No, if Mo was going to be asking a question like that, it'd be like he'd be hitting up like a Google or fucking Yahoo fucking call center.
Hot voice. Oh man, thank you. Respect.
Hey Mo, you'll remember,
dude. I heard about it. What's that?
You should remember this guy. You probably hands down one of the worst leaders I've ever worked for in my life. And I came in on the very tail end of his command. Alpha's old first sergeant.
Type?
No, Cadero. First Sergeant Cadero.
Oh, I do
remember him.
I heard the stories. I
dude,
almost never had to see him.
This dude would smoke E7s in front of their soldiers.
Really? That's super professional.
Like it was. I mean, he ran this, you know, him and the supply guy and a few of the platoon sergeants that were buddy with them, you know, had that little short tab. We're fucking constantly, you know, they were rolling. Hell, he got fucking Tag Hauser watches for all the E7s and above.
Was he one of the dudes that got rolled up and caught up into that shit? Where they busted all of them?
Yeah, right before the deployment. The 11-12 deployment.
About that. Yeah.
I was his chapter NCO when I got back.
Sucker.
Like I've got it, and then I come to find out we had an E7 come over from the group, or from one of the groups, and yeah, he kind of got we understand why he was sent out of the groups. Some things that shouldn't be on your computers, but they found on his government computer.
That's never good.
That's never a good sentence to hear.
There was some like similar leadership traits in this one guy that the very first, I'm not even going to call him a first sergeant. I wish I could remember his name. I know he was a sergeant first class. I think it started with an S. But anyway, it would, just in case anybody is watching, Houston Battalion, Baytown Company, 2006. You know, just so if anybody can remember, please type his name in the thing and blast
Not
this dude
to
all
be
over.
specific about it.
So I showed up. This was my very first recruiting duty. I showed up to Houston Battalion, and I come in, and the sergeant major's like, you know, hey, what, you know, how are you? What do you like? What do you like to do? All this stuff, blah 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 blah. And he said, all right, we're gonna send you out to Baytown, not Baytown. It was Beaumont. We're gonna send you out to Beaumont recruiting station. And so I was like, yeah, that's cool. That's fine. I'll do whatever the team needs. But I know Beaumont's like way out there. So is it okay if I just validate, because my daughter had epilepsy and needed a specific pediatric neurologist for constant doctor visits at the time? And can I just validate that they have one? Because I know, like firsthand, pediatric neurologists were hard to come by at the time, right? So the sergeant major was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Let's go check it out. We're gonna go see the family support group, civilian person that's doing all that. She checks it out. She's like, nope, he's right. There's one pediatric neurologist in the entire state of Texas, and he's right here in Houston. So sergeant major was like, well, that's it. You're not going to Beaumont.
Yeah, I was gonna say Beaumont's like a 3-hour drive from Houston.
Yeah. So he said, you're gonna go to Pasadena. It's on the east side. I was like, yeah, that's cool. That'll work. So I went to Pasadena. That guy, it just happened to be in the same company AO though, right? That guy who was the E7 was the stand-in first sergeant, because they had a first sergeant PCS and they had another one already on the way in. He was already identified on the roster, right? So he was just a stand-in.
He was one of those E4 promotables acting like he was a fucking staff sergeant.
Yep. He was
I hold a position, you will respect my position and my rank.
Yeah, he put me on the shit list, and he fucked with me for like 3 months straight just because of that move. And it was because my daughter was on EFMP.
That's some shit.
He's the same guy though, that it didn't matter if you came in the unit as an E6, that E4 corporal who had a gold badge and had been out recruiting for like, a year or 2 years prior to, is in charge of you. And you better stand at parade rest for that fucking corporal, because that guy knows recruiting 10 times better than you. And he would lock up E7s all the time. In front of everybody.
That was pretty much our entire chain of command of the battalion for the 11-12 deployment. But from, the sergeant major, and hell, we didn't even have an op sergeant major, if I remember right. In Afghanistan, we had a E7 working that slot. But company commands, first sergeants, Alpha was lucky we finally got a good first sergeant. But I mean, hell, you had company commanders taking their guys on a 3-day Charlie company with that 3-day mission in the snow. Told his guys they were going to get UCMJ'd if they showed up with snivel gear for a 3-day off.
What was that? Hold on. Was that Captain Blade?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? That fucking dude. This motherfucker. Hold on, for the group. This dude, I don't remember his actual name, and I don't really care to remember it. It must have ended with a ski, I'm pretty sure. This dude would walk around the cough in his tan t-shirt, and he would have like 5 to 10 knives visibly on him. Yeah, like, he always had his belt in his pockets, like, yeah. So he was just known as Captain Blade. He would just have knives everywhere for no reason. Oh, the fucking weirdo.
It's like, we got stuck with Fox Company, with our support company on our cop. And this first sergeant was trying to have our guys pay extra money to run internet to our company area.
What?
And this is okay. You remember when we had that supply convoy get hit?
Yeah, that was a shitty.
When Jackson and them got killed.
Yeah.
This motherfucker sent out a supply column. Didn't even have a manifest for the people on board. We threw like a 6-hour mission trying to find a guy who was back on the battalion headquarters base, because he was just there to catch a ride from our base to their base. They still tracked him as being missing from that attack for like 6 hours.
Yeah, we had to spin up. We were on the way rolling to one of the really nasty villages in our AO, looking for that dude, because it was such a shit show, dude. it was that dude, or like, dude, that attack was pretty fucked up too, because it was like, I think we've talked about it before, but
But that was also when we
two
had
dudes that died, like their buddies, like they were in the back of the vehicle, and it caught fire, and they like burned to death. And the people in the front of the vehicle just ran out of the vehicle. They like ran away. Didn't help them out.
No, it was the NCO from that truck. The guy hit survived.
Mm-hmm.
Only one that lived. He never
he
tried to
fucking
go
ran
back
away.
in because none of the guys had rollover training. None of the guys had fucking any kind of oh shit training before this. Jackson was a computer nerd for Camo. They pushed him out so he could get his cab.
It was a fucking shame, man.
But when we killed, remember when we took down Red Eye?
Find me.
The Hellfire Strike that finally killed the guy who orchestrated the attack that killed Corley and them. Or Red Rum.
No, I don't think I've heard this story. Dude, we were over at Jagatu. We were in our own little like fucking hellhole, man. We were disconnected from all of y'all.
So what happened was when Corley and them got hit, we tracked.
Yeah.
We found the bomb maker. We found the emplacer, and of course they dropped dimes big as shit.
Oh, you can hear me?
We spent the rest of our deployment going on, never-ending air assaults to get this dude.
Do you ever lift these when you get hungry?
We finally pop him on a aviation unit, hit him with Hellfires, and the Hellfire that hit his car was perfect. It went through the windshield and hit right in between the front two seats and the back two seats, or in the back seat. So we had to go do body recovery on that.
That's a recovery I would be happy to do.
Fox's first sergeant rolls up while we're doing, we're doing all the biometrics on these corpses, and our JTAC, who was the one that cleared the strike, he goes up and puts one guy's jaw back together and fucking flaps the mouth or the skin back over, and he's a morbid fuck. We let him get away with it. Starts, I promise I won't be a bad guy again. Kind of shit, moving the mouth or what's left.
Well, totally. So he could take a full picture with the bat and hide, right?
Fox's first sergeant comes up and starts, posing with these fucking corpses, like he's doing his combat pictures.
Oh my god!
Just getting intel, for the.
It would make for the storyboard.
Our first sergeant.
You got to see what who else they're connected to. What.
Well, our first. This is where I gained the most respect from our first sergeant on this one. He pulled out his fucking pistol, held this dude at gunpoint, was like, "Get the fuck out of my area."
I'm going to lay down.
And that wasn't the first time the first sergeant had actually drawn his pistol on a U.S. personnel on that base.
Yeah, the coming, man.
The SSE, that's what I was thinking of. He was just getting SSE.
Yeah, SSE.
Just doing the pictures.
Biometrics, baby. Yeah. That was an interesting deployment, man, because it was,
dude.
I remember when I got there.
I mean, immediately after we bounced out, fucking 173rd gave up the battle space. They sent 2 platoons to cover down on a cop that was built for 2 companies. And it's like the guys they sent for the initial Rip Toa were like PFC squad leaders. Like, what the fuck are you sending this dumb? He just graduated fucking airborne school. What the fuck are you sending him for? And it was
they had some interesting. If we're talking about leadership, they had some interesting leadership. There was I remember there was one when they started ripping with us. They had if you're not familiar with RIP, if you're watching this, a RIP TOA is like RIP is relief in place. So it's kind of like when the incoming unit that's relieving you and you're getting ready to go home and finish out with your deployment, you're doing like right seat, left seat, right. So you're taking them out with you, showing the way you operate and do shit. And then eventually you start using back, and then they start, yeah, it's the way. But then they start doing it. So these guys,
yeah, I remember.
Well, right seat, left seat, yeah, because they're on the right seat, they're watching it, and then
that's
they
what
take
we
the
used to
left
call
seat.
them, and then all of a sudden, Afghanistan is Rip Toa. Like, what the fuck? It's left seat, right seat. Who the fuck does
that? Shit always changes. It'll be something else in the next war, you know. Somebody wants an OER bullet, and they're gonna come up with some new shit, you know. I'm gonna make my evaluation so cool. Yeah, but these dudes, like, they came in and they fucking, like, immediately, the moment some of their folks started getting to us, they immediately started doing weird shit, like changing the hours. Like, when they took over the chow hall, they started changing the hours of the chow hall. And we had a little ass chow hall, you know, barely any food. We had, like, 2 cooks that were constantly working for the whole COP, and they had, like, no time off. They were struggling. All of our supplies had to be airdropped, so they didn't have shit to work with. And these dudes come in and take over and change the hours, so by the time we're allowed to, it was 173rd only for that first hour chow opens up, then we're allowed. And by that point, it's just fucking scraps. Like, there's nothing left, you know? We're like, really, guys? We didn't do this shit to you at all. Like, why the fuck? And their chain of command, like, turned a blind eye to all this shit. Their dudes were kicking us out of shit. They were being total dicks, like, left and right. It was fucking ridiculous, man. Like, and then while they're doing this, while they're being assholes the whole time, eventually when right before they booted us out of where we were living in and threw us in these just like little ramshackle tents, some of their dudes would come by and be like, oh, cool, that's a sweet cabinet, or that's a sweet, you know, guitar. Like, do you guys want this shit? Like, do you want that TV? Like, can I get that? Can I get this? And we're like, yeah, sure, man. And that night, we fucking burned all of it. We threw it in the fucking fire and just like burn the shit out of it. We're like, you ain't getting shit from us, motherfuckers. Like, fuck you.
Bro,
but they just like every one of them. It's crazy.
Yeah. We gutted every one of our hooches, every one of our chews. All the tents got gutted. Everything got ripped out, and we had a fucking bonfire and a barbecue right in front of them.
That's like, the way to do it, man.
You gotta love our acting platoon sergeant was a black hat. Only thing he didn't do in his career that should have got him E7 was fucking go to Ranger school. And he had a run-in with some of them, come out of the showers, and they're all talking shit about, you know, all these fucking legs and shit. We sat there, and about like 2 days into the Rip Toa, they were like, oh, hey, 173rd, you're not allowed to go out on missions with these guys. We don't want you getting shot. Okay. So they sat on the COP for like 3 weeks doing jack shit. And they started pulling that, oh, hey, you guys going to take that TV with you? Oh, come on, you know you're not going to take that back or that back or that back. We threw everything in a big-ass bomb into a pile and fucking torched it. Oh, yeah. And that was some of the best steaks we've ever had. Because we were stuck with the cook from El Paso who was Mexican, who couldn't cook fucking Mexican food to save his life. Still don't understand how that happens.
I don't know, man. Those guys were a trip. I remember they were doing one like left seat, right seat with one of the other platoons. And they go out, not that far outside of the COP, and they get into a pretty decent tick. And they come back from the firefight, and I see, and I'm like walking. I don't remember where I was walking, but I was walking by somewhere, and I see this NCO like smoking the dog shit out of this dude, like, and they just came back from patrol, like, and this guy was just fucking this private's world up, one of the 173rd cats, and I think it was like something like, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I think one of them kind of got freaked out. He was on the turret for one of the trucks on the open turret, and he was like freaking out because it was his first firefight, and his legs were shaking, and he was like kind of shooting back and shit like that. And he was like, their response was to just like smoke the ever fucking like shit out of this dude. I don't know. That was wild to me. I was like, man.
Yeah, and
that's how you guys roll. Like, just like, there's other ways to go about this.
I remember having buddies over in 173rd, and they would be like, as their first week there was, you know, there's no acclimating to the fucking climate. There's no acclimating to the elevation where over in Italy. And it was 12-mile ruck, PT test, you pass or you're gone within your first 5 days of being on in country. Like, they were going to resection shit. And it was like,
dude, that elevation change alone is just,
oh, bro,
it kicks your ass, man.
Dude, look what it did to me. I showed up in El Paso. I go from, you know, like under 3,000 feet above sea level to a mile high when I moved to El Paso. And within 2 weeks, I was in the hospital with a collapsed lung because of the elevation change. Fuck me. And
yeah, my first run in El Paso kicked my ass, dude. I was not ready for it. I was used to Fort Benning, you know. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not bad at running, and then I get to El Paso and go on my first run, and I'm dying inside. Oh. Hey, Rayola.
So,
I want to hear your stories of good leaders or bad leaders. Curious what you got.
I think I got my last deployment. I have pretty good BC and Sergeant Major, so, you know, and I worked in the TOC. I was a battle commander or whatever at night, and I had the shitty S3 dude. He was like shitty. He was like always like making shit, like random shit for us to like random do, you know, this extra shit for no reason, just making extra work. And my BC had a talk with him, and he was like, "Hey, you're in the TOC, right? So the S3 is in the TOC with you during the daytime anyway." And dude, I did all the work, you know, make sure the above and everything was done in the mornings and all that kind of stuff for when the BC came in, because, you know, that's this meeting to get his updates for what happened overnight. And I would go, set everything up, everything's good. I get off at like 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and literally like 10 o'clock, no fail, this motherfucker sends somebody to wake me up after pulling, you know, 13-hour shift or whatever. He was like, "Oh, Sergeant Black, you didn't do this, you didn't do that." I'm like, motherfucker, it's all on the share drive. Like, literally, I said that. So it got to a point where I was so pissed off that I had to stop carrying my weapon to the TOC for like maybe 3 or 4 days. And one day my Sergeant Major was like, "Where's your weapon at, Sergeant Black?" I was like, "If I bring that weapon in there, something bad might happen." So he let the BC know and all that kind of stuff, and BC talked with him and all that good stuff, and, you know, and everything kind of cooled off. But one day we had a tick or whatever, one of the companies had a tick. So, you you know, you have to get all the information to let the BC know what happened and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you know, if a tick and, you know, tick happens, you wake the BC up and all that kind of stuff. And he was there when it was going on, and obviously the S3 wasn't there because he was sleeping. You don't wake the S3 up. You wake the BC up. So he came. He sent somebody to the tent. He's like, "Hey, you didn't pass off this information." I was like, "I passed it to the next, you know, battle commander. You know, let him know what's going on." So everything was recorded and on a shared drive and all that kind of stuff. And he chewed my ass for nothing. Woke me up. I was just fucking pissed, fuming. I'm like, I don't know what this dude expects out of me, kind of deal. So I let the BC know. He's like, so he dives into his ass. You know, he's a major, so, and the BC is a colonel. So he's like, why are you chewing my battle commander's ass when I was there? He did everything he was supposed to do. All the information was there for you to look up, you know, in the system. You know, all the slides and everything was there. And then, you know, the day shift battle commander was there, and he knew what was going on because I passed it on to him. And, you know, that was pretty cool of him. You know, he had my back. You know, and most, you know, when you're working with the brass so close on a daily basis, they're like, yeah, we see what you do. You know, we're not gonna bust your ass for some bullshit because he fucked up and didn't look, and he wanted a personalized fucking brief. That wasn't your position. That was, you know, the battle commander's position. So for the day shift, but yeah, that was pretty cool. That's my good story. I mean, I got a couple other ones stories too, but that stood out more to me, like at the moment right now. So we got some good. Well, we had some good commanders and sergeant majors in there that would go on bat for them. So
it's good to see a BC doing that.
Look at this.
I mean, I was, you know, I was, you know, I wore multiple hats while I was there. I was still the CBRN, NCOIC. So I still had to have that covered. I was the battalion fucking EO rep, you know, and you know, that's the BC. The BC personally picks you for that shit. So, you know, the fact that he's seen one of his EO reps, like the battalion EO rep, getting fucking smashed by a fucking major who fucking knew all the information was. He had my back. That was pretty cool.
Everyone.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I was just a buck sergeant at that point too, so it was cool.
So it really made a difference.
Oh yeah. I got a lot of respect from all the you know, the company commanders and the first sergeants and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, when you work, you know, in the talk, you know, you see all the brass all the time, you know. So, you know, you talk to them on a daily basis, kind of a deal. So it was nice to have that level of respect as an E5, even though I was an E5 for like 5 years. So
yeah,
it was cool. And that's all I got. Pretty simple, cut and dry.
Hey, that's good. I mean, the bad stories obviously are like, oh, you know, but the good stories are important. Then it's like having that standard of like, man, what is, you know, what do I want to do when I'm in that position? You know, it goes a long way. It's not hyper focusing on like, what do I not want to do?
Yeah, making the proper adjustments is important because, like, you look at generational stuff. You know, my mom or my dad treated me this way, so that way I'll never treat my kids, you know, the same way. So, but we tend to take it from this extreme and throw it over to the other extreme and not get the appropriate balance in the middle. And I think leadership comes with the same prices sometimes. So sometimes we get to where my leader was such a jackass, whatever, I'll never be that kind of leader. And so then you miss the whole point in the middle and you end up sacrificing discipline and all kinds of stuff. So.
We had a captain in my department.
Overcorrecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a captain in my department. His nickname was Captain Crossword. because he was in an office all by himself. He did crossword puzzles, and he had to have people help him. And I was a lieutenant. I had civil process and domestic violence, and he got assigned to my unit. But I was still in charge, and I have a captain working under a lieutenant because they didn't know what else to do with him. He lasted about a week with me, and I got rid of him. So he's going to get somebody killed. I'm sorry. He can't be doing this. He's going to get somebody killed.
I mean, you piss somebody enough off. It's like you got to be careful, especially when you're in country. You got to be careful how you treat people because everybody's carrying loaded weapons, and at any time somebody can come in and shoot your ass because you pissed them the fuck off. Especially after having like a long day and all that kind of shit. Especially after that night, you know what I was telling you guys about. Man, you feeling already aggressive. Because the guys went through on the ground, but you don't piss off the people who are actually there, and that just got off. They're fucking tired. All you want to do is just be off and be done. It's just like you got your briefing. It was there, and you fucking was a dick for no reason. So, when an officer puts you at attention, that just makes it even worse because you just got to sit there and take it. So, I'm like,
should have saluted his ass.
Hey Mo.
Ah.
Hey, are you on my Facebook page?
I don't know. I don't really use Facebook.
Well, Bruno
I think I'm on
is.
your Instagram though.
Hey Bruno, pull up Facebook and check out the video I just posted or I just shared. And look at 14 minutes and 50 seconds into it.
Come on.
It's gonna be some chick twerking with no ass.
No, it's a car I did up.
How far in?
1450.
Twerking with no ass.
The car twerking.
You know what? Twerking died in 2020, bro.
Hey, make those rims clap,
I tried twerking. I threw my back out.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Then you sit there watching those dudes do that crate challenge. That's pretty stupid people, but
what is it?
Yeah, I saw that
14.
1450. It'll be a black Lexus.
So a black chick named Lexus twerking.
Roger.
Okay, I'm at
Fat white boy Lexus. I don't know if he knows how to twerk. Maybe.
And there it goes.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
It was that one of my clients just sent me that video, and it's the first time I've seen that car all put together. It's just hearing the guy talk about it was pretty cool.
Would you say it made your dick jump?
black Lexus with the swords in the trunk.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that Lexus is twerking.
Hey, they're Southern Idaho people, so they get kind of fucking freaky down there.
Yeah, swordplay.
Not swordplay like you're used to, my friend.
Very nice.
We don't cut the head off of anything. We just like to wave them in the air, put them on the cars.
But when you cut the head off, they do it naturally. Yeah, that reminds me. That specifically doesn't remind me of anything. But I got reminded of I wanted to talk about this earlier, but I squirreled and fucking forgot. Oh, but it's back to me. It's back to me. had a LT, not a butter bar, but it was a first lieutenant. This dude, like, nice guy. I don't want to shit on him as a person. Nice guy. I think he got kicked in the head a lot when he was younger. I'm pretty sure he had mentioned one time he was in kickboxing, and when he told me that, I was like, "Oh, that's why you're a fucking idiot." It's like, you've been kicked in the head way too many fucking times. And this dude would just like, I mean, he was like visibly like just couldn't process thoughts rapidly at all, you know. And it would just like, you would like see him trying to think. And again, I want to reiterate, fucking nice dude, but like should not have been a fucking infantry PL. Had no business being an infantry PL. And we get into our first firefight, like that deployment that he was on with me. We get into our first firefight, and he just like, you know, and we actually like assaulted the enemy position. We didn't just fucking sit there and duke it out. Like, we fucking got right up on top of him. This dude, the whole time, like, we're fucking, like, there's a bunch of us on the ground, like, fucking duking it out, and he just, like, doesn't communicate with the talk at all. The talk is trying to get a hold of somebody, and they fucking can't. He's not communicating to the talk to talk about, like, hey, we're in a fucking tick, like, this is where we're at, this is what's going on, right? So the talk's freaking out, like, what the fuck, motherfuckers? You know, they're hearing this battle going on because it wasn't too far outside of the base either. And he just kind of, like, eventually, again, like, it's a night fight, we're on the ground, we're fucking duking it out. He, like, walks over to another position where the trucks were and just kind of sits in there and starts bullshitting with one of the other dudes who I was really, really mad at, because that dude was fucking like 100% pussed out and like didn't run out there with us, and then tried to like feign it off. But this is not about that guy. This is about the LT. The LT just like wanders over there, like sits in the truck with him, and they just like fucking chill till the firefight's done. You know, like, we fucking fight off everything, and then we go back and we're like, where the fuck were you? And like, why is the fucking talk losing their shit? You know? And we have to stay there overnight to do like, to like search the area and all that. And then by the time daytime comes around, or this might have been later, he has us do like maneuvers, like tactical maneuvers in the middle of this place, like in broad daylight, literally for no reason. Like, there was no reason we should be doing this. He was just like, we're gonna fucking practice these maneuvers. I was like, sir, they're like, there's people watching us, you know, like, you wanna just like show them what we might do, like all the ways we might position, like just give them a place where they could easily set up IEDs on us, like if we decided to maneuver a certain way. I was like, what the fuck is happening with this guy? Like, this guy is losing his fucking mind. And he got fucking sent back. He got sent to Rear D. And the only reason that happened was because our BC and our Command Sergeant Major, Gunny actually, they were there on that base with us. Like, that's where they were located. And they were seeing all this shit happen. They were in the talk when that, like, battle happened, too. So they were so fucking mad. Had that not been the case, that motherfucker probably would have stayed there and been our LT, like, the whole deployment. You know? And we just,
Yeah, I've had
unreal.
I had a BC like that, Lieutenant Colonel.
BC like that?
I swear this dude had autism, right? And nothing against autism, right? But
yeah,
there are definite places that you shouldn't place somebody who has autism.
Right.
And I think strategic planning of intelligence is probably one of them that you shouldn't be placing one of these guys.
Probably, but yeah.
I was a training NCO this time, and he would constantly, like, we would be briefing him constantly of, you know, hey, these are the choke points that we're seeing. These are some of the training objectives that we think we need to implement to kind of better the organization, all this stuff, whatever. He would get so sidebar and completely like leave the narrative, you know, and talk about something else, and then end up on this side of the room somehow you know, that we didn't even like, this never even happened, right? And so we kind of got to know this guy a little bit. And so we had gotten a training place once, and essentially we were going onto an Air Force base, and the entire building itself was pretty much a skiff. There were a couple outlying buildings on the outside of it that you could probably get a little bit of signal, right? If any, just you're barely scratching. You're like, you know, you get your cell phone like this, you know, you try to get some signal. So we had this, you know, briefed him ahead of time. All right, this is the training we're going to be doing. This is what the training aids we got involved. This is how, you know, essentially I planned it all the way down to when you enter the room, this is how you'll be announced. You know, we'll play you a little bit of music on the, you know, to make you feel good coming in the door. Like we had it planned down to, you know, the tiniest little detail of everything. And 2 weeks out, all right, about to lock all this like stuff in and make sure that 100% everybody's trained so that the script can go all the way, you know, that's, as a training NCO, it was like every second was scripted like a movie to ensure that the NCOs got the most out of the training they could possibly get. They were motivationally charged to pay attention. You know, the content that they were getting was relevant. It was taught by people that weren't just reading PowerPoints and out of the book. You know, everything had to be like almost scripted. And so like 2 weeks out, I'm like, all right, I know how you are. We can't change anything. Like this is, you know, whatever. We're not going to have the capabilities. We're essentially going to be locked in this bubble. Sure enough, he comes in that very morning. Hey, I want you to play this video. I found it on YouTube last night. You realize like I can't get signal or, you know, anything. And he's like, yeah, let's go ahead and get that on there. It was like 15 minutes till training starts. He's like, all right, yeah, that's enough time. Let's do it. What's wrong with this guy? Nicest guy though, right? And of course, it goes all wrong. And at the end, he's like, so why didn't you play my video? Like, you messed up the whole thing. But yeah, like I said, nicest guy, but you know, you just know that it's not all there. And,
yeah, it's like, why are you here? How did you get here?
and you were and he had come to that position from the Pentagon, again, strategic planning at the intel field. I was like, oh my God. I can't imagine.
That's what, you know what happened? The Pentagon probably just was just like, we just need him gone. Like just
that's
point on an org chart up right there. Yeah. That's that was the frustrating thing I think I saw a lot was like anytime, and I'm talking down at the platoon level, but I can only imagine how it works higher up too. But it's like anytime you have a soldier that's just like a problem, you know, a problem child, they're just not getting with the program, they're not fitting in, they're just like obviously not meant for that role and have no business, especially the fucking leadership too. They just pass them off to somebody else. They're just like, we're just gonna, you know what we're gonna do, and they, oh my God, and they blow smoke up your ass too. If you're the one getting that problem child, they blow so much smoke up your ass. You know, like, you know, you guys are so good. You guys can take this person and like just fucking really. They're just like, we're just throwing dicks at you right now, like the whole way. Like this is the green weenie, just like sliding right all around you. You know, yeah, just left and right, getting slapped around. And they're like, yeah, you guys are the best. Like, fucking, here you go. And then they get upset when he's still a problem child. I'm like, oh yeah, like that's fucking cool, you know. And it just, oh hey. But it just like it's got a place, and they never think about who they send these people to, right? They just fucking dump them on somebody. There's some people who are really good at fucking retraining idiots. But most people aren't, and you just get like, you end up just getting like shit, and you have to figure it out, and then you get chewed out when it doesn't work out. Like that shit shouldn't happen. That is a service-wide issue, I think. You know.
That's why I was doing all the acting. I was playing charades for her on the other side of the room. Should let her know what you were talking about.
How'd she like the dick slapping? You know.
She's like, "Oh, is it that time again?"
Yeah. It's like, yeah, come on. Hey, I'm not kink shaming, man. You do enough time in the army, and that's just like it's just natural. You know, you learn to love it.
I enjoy it. She likes doing it to me.
That's called
Stop it.
Stop it. Don't stop it.
Remember, my safe word is blueberry.
My safe word is harder.
That would just confuse me. That won't work.
Exactly. You're like, wait, should I stop or do you really want me to go? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Hey, at least it's an easy word for you to mumble.
What was that Tina Fey movie? They said my safe word is don't stop. Wait, what?
I like the
What movie was that? I know.
Euro trip when they go to Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is the safe word. As they
Oh, that's what you want?
They bring out that sawzall with a giant fucking dildo on it.
Every man's Euro trip dream, man.
Hey, y'all have a good night.
All right, later, Austin.
See you, Austin.
All right, that actually, it should be my time to call it too.
We've reached our 2-hour limit.
We have. I've reached mine. Yeah, y'all are free to hang around. I just need to get some fucking bedtime.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You don't need no bedtime. You're young.
Yeah, sleep's a crutch. Water's a crutch. Living your real life, living your best life is a fucking crutch. Don't get on me with that negative. Aren't we talking about bad leaders tonight? Huh? Sergeant Black.
Hold that shit in. Hold this shit in.
Yeah, just hide it all. Suffer in silence. Ignore everything. You know, like, that's the way. Mhm.
Well, you guys might be young, but I'm officially old tomorrow, so.
There we go. See?
Officially old.
And I'm with him.
65.
I'm with that guy.
65?
Yep.
Still young.
Official.
You still can't get full. You can't get full Social Security until you're 67.
Yeah,
do you
but
get
I was
discount
on
now?
full disability, and it just carries right over, so I stay at the rate I'm at.
So no pay raise for you.
Not
Huh?
getting a good deal.
No, but it was like almost $2,000 a month more than I was getting when I turned 60. From when I turned 62.
Nice.
That sounds
So
good.
I'm taking it.
Well, fellas, I guess have a good night and have a good week. When the next time are we on? I know that I heard somebody say we changed the days or some shit.
Friday.
Yeah, it's Mondays and Fridays now. Yeah, so Friday will be the private.
All right. Well, y'all stay safe until then, man.
Friday is no
All right.
clothes required.
Later.
There you
Happy
go.
birthday, Bruno.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
be the
trying.
first one to say-
I'm talking to my wife because she's supposed to be going to Texas in October, but after the couple little incidents on the cruise, I don't think she trusts me to travel alone anymore.
No, I like Tony's idea. We'll give you a show on Friday.
Yeah, Mo's gonna dress up.
All right, stay
Take me
safe.
back to my chai boy days. All right.
Later, fellas.
All right. Good night, fellas.